Hello guys and girls, it's me Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet, and it's that time again. I'm going to talk about money, Patreon, being a content creator on YouTube. So give me a few minutes of your time and perhaps a few of your dollars. But first let me give you some context and some rhyme and reason as to why I think you should. And before we get into it, for those of you that don't believe content creators should be reimbursed, and I'm going to call this begging, or perhaps you've been jealous that people get reimbursed for doing these things, just turn the video off and move away. The content will still be there, there's never going to be a paywall, I'm not going to stop doing it, you can still enjoy it, free of charge, no strings attached. And again, that's no slight to the people who respect Patreon or what it is, or the people that can't afford to do it, or the people that expect it and don't want to do it. Again, I completely understand. This is not begging, this is not guilt tripping. Let me explain. I set up my Patreon roughly 9 months ago, and in that time my channel has doubled in size if you look at subscribers, watch time and views. Essentially, the way I'd set up my Patreon previously is now no longer fit for purpose because we've hit most of the goals and we've got above where I actually thought we'd get to in a smaller time frame. So thank you for that, it's fucking incredible. And to give some context to how successful Patreon on the channel has been, I only started gaining real traction about a year ago. My videos started picking up more and more views, more subscribers. Mono Tron was very good for just kickstarting it and the explosion of blowing up. And now we're in a really good place. I am the UK's #1 Magic the Gathering content creator. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but I thought I'd just throw that in there. So I just want to thank you, like all of you, like viewers, subscribers, people who interact with me on Twitter, those of you that upvote or comment when my content isn't shadow banned or removed from Reddit, and those of you that financially support me, whether it be through Twitch Prime or Twitch subscription for the stream or Patreon itself. Just thank you so fucking much. I can't begin to explain how much it means to me that this is working. I say this a lot, but I really feel like I need to emphasise that the community around which the channel has grown is fantastic and so positive. Considering the edgy and silly humour that I have, I rarely have to deal with edgelords and shitheads, and most of you are just really, really nice. So thanks again for that as well. So to clarify where I'm at, the love, support, friendship and monetary support, more importantly, has allowed me to drop a day in my day job. So I actually dropped one whole day back in January to focus on putting out consistent content and weekly, the majority of the time, weekly gameplay footage. This has helped to gain traction and keep the channel growing, keep that ball rolling, and I've even started to get things from Wizards. Even in spite of the naughty words, Wizards are realising that I'm actually a good thing for this community, and that's just fucking awesome as well. What is the reason for this video? Well, it is a Patreon drive, essentially. Let's be just transparent about this. I'm looking to grow my Patreon and I'm looking to ask for support from you guys. Now, to be clear, I haven't lost my job. I'm not in financial hardship. I'm very comfortable financially at the moment. The point is, I want to be better. I want to be better as a person, I want the channel to be better, I want to grow faster than I'm growing now. Essentially, the channel is very draining in terms of time. The average gameplay video, including gameplay editing, costs me more than 10 hours worth of time to do. And I only dropped one day of my day job. So sure, some of you say, wow, it's a hobby. And it is, but I want it to be more than a hobby. I want to make more content. For you guys, for me, because I love it so much, I want to make more. And at the moment, I just can't physically do that because I have the time and energy, and that'll just make me ill. I'm already burning the candle at both ends a little bit, it's probably too much as it is. At this rate, the channel should be, according to projections on Social Blade, somewhere above 25,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but I want to do better than that. I want to go bigger than that. So like I said, the reason I'm putting that up is I want growth to be better, to be faster. Now, the ways in which I would do this is more regular content. I want to make more content on a regular basis. For example, if I could stream twice a week, once in a time slot that's American friendly, that would help. If I could put 2 gameplay videos up in a week, that would help. But that would be very intensive on time. The point is, if I could find the time, it would do wonders for my SEO, for my analytics, for the way the algorithm of YouTube finds me and uses my videos to keep people on the site and therefore promotes me. But the problem is time. And then further to that, I want to expand what I can do, my own skill set. I want to push the channel to a higher quality than it already is at. With the latest video, the Battle Bond pre-release video that you might not have seen yet, but I recommend you click and watch it. Even if it's only the first half hour or so if you're not into long form paper gameplay. But I put a lot of effort into the editing there, and we did things like, I got Liz, the intern, who's a friend of ours, to come with a digital SLR and a GoPro, and we filmed like 3 different angles for some things, and we filmed some interviews on a high quality camera, and interspersed that with the footage of the gameplay, the pack openings, and did something that's more in line with game nights and other high quality content. Perhaps not to that level yet, but more like that. I'm basically aspiring to push myself out of some of my comfort zone, which is like Magic gameplay and memes, which of course will never go anywhere, but push yourself outside of that comfort zone to improve both me, the channel, and your experience, and give people more things to enjoy. And that took a lot of time. I had friends around from 12 to 7 o'clock, we filmed, then I had to spend 7 hours editing once the footage was all done on my computer, and it took a lot of time and effort. And on top of that, Liz did it for the fun and the love of the friendship with myself and my wife, and for the love of making her own stuff as well. She didn't get paid for that. At the moment, I'm not in a place where I can pay people for it. At least John and Rob and Dave love magic and got to keep some new cards too. The point is, I want to have my own digital SLR cameras. I want to have a rig where I can film top-down paper gameplay of a high quality, because at the moment the quality of that gameplay wasn't up to the standard that I want to hold myself to. On top of that, at some point I'd love to pay my colleagues and Liz the intern and people for being involved, for podcast hosts and things like that, and guests on the channel. I would love to take this a lot more seriously in that sense. I also plan to pick up Photoshop and just general Adobe stuff like After Effects to improve the transitions and the looks of my videos, but again there's a monetary cost there, but further to that there's a time requirement of me learning these things and going through tutorials and understanding them. I just don't have enough fucking time, kids. Do you see the recurring theme here? You see, time is money, and the more support I get from you guys, the fans, the viewers, the subscribers, the patrons, whatever you guys want to call yourselves, the splicers, the cult, whatever nickname we give you, the more support in terms of monetary value from the Patreon I get, the more time I can devote to the channel, both in the fact that it is a sustainable revenue source for the future for my family, and for the fact I will be able to drop time in my other job. And I know I'm lucky to have a stable job, and I know I'm lucky to be able to monetize and earn money from this, because this is the future and I'm on the doorstep of the future, and there's some people out there that don't have these opportunities available to them. I get that. But I want to grab it by the balls and fucking ride it out, you know? Do it properly. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Patreon. For just $2 a month, you'll give more money to the channel and to myself and to me to be able to make this to a full-time endeavour than what 1,000 monetized views would make. That's how shit the YouTube ad revenue actually is. 1,000 views, less than $2. And what Patreon allows you to do, it gives an interface and a supported way of doing that on a monthly basis. You sign up to Patreon and you can give money to the creators that you enjoy, whether that be myself or other content creators on the platform, or other creators making music, journalists, artists, or funny memeologists that like to play with paper cards, like me. Well, what will you get for those $2? I hear some of you asking. You will get to become part of the cult. You can come to what's called PleasantKenobi's Wonder Emporium, which is a Discord server, to hang out with other patrons, other splicers, selfless spirits, and Thraben inspectors, to talk about magic and memes and music, fuck about. A Johnny hentai comes up probably far too much on this Discord, so be warned about that. You also get some behind the scenes looks into what I'm up to as well. I will often rant and moan and bitch when I'm Mulligan to 5 or get wrecked by Tron in a league online when I'm filming a video. I'll post screenshots. I'll ask for advice and pointers and ideas from the Discord as well. You guys essentially have some hands-on and some interaction with the content being made. It is very, very active, perhaps too active sometimes when it comes to a Johnny hentai fanfic. There are some higher tier rewards as well, such as signed cards being sent out to you periodically to say thank you for supporting the channel. These cards will be things to do with the memes and the videos and the decks that are played on the channel. There's also an upper tier that I call the Splicers, where we do a Splicer call that can be as minimum of monthly, but sometimes every week, where we sit down and talk about what you want to see me play, help me brew a deck for the video, play some EDA, to generally just hang out and chat the shit. On top of that, I've got some new goals in mind for this redesigned Patreon. At the next milestone, $1,000 per month, I can realistically look at perhaps dropping another day in my day job. That will also then give me enough time to get into something I've been wanting to do for a while, which is making a regular podcast. Now, it's all up in the air at the moment in terms of actual planning, but I'm thinking weekly it'd feature myself and one or two of the other friends that I have on the channel quite regularly, Rob, my co-host, John the Baptist, Chris, the main admin on the stream, and obviously guests as well. We would talk about magic, as you know, magic is my biggest passion, but we'd probably talk about other things as well. Films, video games, memes, just general shit. And I just love to make a regular podcast. I so enjoyed it when I was doing it for another website a little while ago, but I haven't got the time right now. So if we get that time back through the Patreon, through the support of the channel, that's something I can get back to you guys. And again, if you're patrons, you'll have a say in how the podcast works and how it's set up. So what are you waiting for? Click through the fucking link and give us. Beyond that, as we progress and hopefully increase the Patreon fund, I can look to reduce more hours. I'm thinking around the 1,200 mark, we will look at doing regular, once a month, paper EDH gameplay. I'm going to invest in an SLR with some of the Patreon money and a cradle to put over tables to do top-down gameplay and some microphones, and that would allow me to make EDH paper gameplay of a higher quality than what is currently out there at the moment for the majority of content creators. I'm looking at rivaling not necessarily game modes because their production values are fourth, but the Versus series and things like that. I'll get up there. I'll be the British, goofier, memeier, slightly swearier versions of those things. Doesn't that sound fucking awesome? Yeah, I really need to plan some of this shit out. Also, if you can't support the channel or myself financially, I completely get it. There's no obligation, the content will still be there, but the growth and the expansion of the channel is dependent upon getting this into a position where it could be a sustainable income for the future. The other reason I'm using Patreon primarily, I'll be transparent, I have a sponsor and I do get a little bit of ad revenue, but they're nothing compared to the Patreon. But one of the main reasons I want to use Patreon is because that means I am then relying on you guys, the fans and the viewers, the people who are engaged with me directly about what they want to see, and that helps from such a niche like Magic the Gathering. Beyond that as well, it means I don't have to go on the whims of certain advertisers and cut down on the content that I make and the style that I make it. I can keep being me as long as people are willing to watch and laugh and enjoy it along with me. So if you can, throw in a couple of bucks, support the channel, and let me know what you want to see more of on the channel in the comment section below. I've been PleasantKenobi. I know this has been a very dry ramble to sort of explain to you where things are going, but I think it's worth it, and I really want to make this channel work harder than it already is, better than it already is. I've been Vince, also known as PleasantKenobi on the internet, and think of me next time you fap. Ta-ta for now.